Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Stephen Platinum versus AEW Dark episode number 39. It took place on June 23rd, 2020. We got Excalibur and Taz opening the show. Brian Cage is going to wrestle on this show. Justin Roberts is doing the ring announcing, which is super yikes because he's part of this whole speaking out thing that's come out. So, this was recorded before, but it was very notable because lately it hasn't been I haven't seen Justin Roberts in a long time, and it's something that he's back. If I'm wrong about him being part of the speaking out thing that's happening, I apologize, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Our first match is Robert Anthony, who's been getting a quite a notable push, even as a guy who's been losing as of late. He's been sort of in the main events of AEW Dark and had very competitive matches, but here he's in the open against Brian Cage, and I don't imagine it's going to be a very competitive match. I was surprised, though, that Robert Anthony got some stuff going right away. It's just a really cool start to the match where he was avoiding Brian Cage, and it looked very believable. Brian Cage, though he is billed as a sort of an unstoppable monster on his way to hopefully facing Jon Moxley for the title during Fyter Fest. Right here, a good balance of showing that he could sort of sell and be on the defensive a little bit in a believable way that didn't take away from him. I thought that was a really good job. And I haven't seen anybody talk about this, but I am kind of looking forward to what they're going to do with a Lance Archer versus Brian Cage thing later. I think that could just be super cool. Taz and Jake Roberts cutting promos against each other, and this idea of Brian Cage against Lance Archer. Anyway, obviously Brian Cage won this thing handily, and we move on to match 2, which is Musa and David Ali, who is, I'll just put it out there, a very big fan of David Ali's stuff. Taking on SCU, the incarnation of Kazarian and Daniels. Very clean work by David Ali in the beginning. He's really got his head in the game. A couple of times there were spots that were a little wonky by Musa, and David Ali sort of like appropriate. Like Musa would go for pins when he wasn't the legal man, and David Ali would quickly correct it. I just thought it was a really good outing for David Ali. I talk a lot more about the guys who are sort of putting the other guys over during AEW Dark, because that's what I'm more interested in and where I think the value in my commentary and analysis really lies. That moonsault by Daniels into the tombstone by Kazarian is a bonkers finish. That thing looked insane. Like it could have been a train wreck, but Kazarian and Christopher Daniels, total pros. Spot looked great. Match number 3, Pineapple Pete against Sean Spears with Tully Blanchard at ringside. Back and forth match for a bit. Sean Spears showing why he is a consummate pro, and a lot of people are complaining that he's not over in AEW as he should be. I disagree. I think that they've kind of finally found a thing and they're sticking to it. We'll see where it goes. He loads up the glove and hits the left hand for the win. Interesting. Number 4, Griff Garrison, who had a great outing the last time and had an equally great outing this time, I believe, though he's wrestling Lance Archer, which means he's not going to get a whole lot of offense. I will put the positives out here about the match first. Griff Garrison's forearms look great. European uppercuts looked great. His sells were on point. I don't like his arms crossed picture that he has that they're using for his like promo shot. Don't do that. Something with a little more energy, something that puts across a gimmick maybe. The arms crossed shot is not a shot that should be used for any kind of display. Not because he looks bad in it. I just don't think it does anything for him. Okay, let's go into the negatives. Lance Archer beating up people at random before the match starts is stupid. This one looked particularly dumb. AEW, which is doing a great job of really caring about their wrestlers and the people that work for them more than WWE. That's not a gimmick, right? But then having Lance Archer beat somebody up at random to the point where they're laid out outside of the ring for the entire match, and then he brings them in at the end and beats them up again, seems ludicrous. It seems really stupid. Now, if you're saying, Steve, it's no big deal, like, I mean, why are you going on and on about this? Let me put this in your brains. What if Lance Archer grabbed one of the female interviewers, dragged her out there, beat her up? Nobody did anything. Nobody lifted a finger. No babyface wrestlers are saving these office employees. Nobody cares. The office employees themselves they're not being helped out by other office employees. Can you imagine the situation existing anywhere in life, in society? It's stupid, and it doesn't contribute to what they're trying to do. They need a grown-up in the room to figure out something to do with this, because it's stupid. It doesn't help Lance Archer. It makes AEW look stupid. It makes all their baby faces look stupid. Why is nobody stopping this? Why is Cody Rhodes not stopping this? It's ludicrous. I hate it. Stop fucking doing it. Did I emphasize that enough? Yeah, stop fucking doing the thing where Lance Archer beats somebody up. It's dumb. There's nothing good about it. Not a thing. Awesome. Number 5 match. John Silver, Alex Reynolds of the Dark Order. And again, Dark Order, pick your poison, man. Are they numbers? Are they names? Are their masks matter? I mean, when John Silver did that drop kick in the corner, his mask came flying off. I mean, it all looks so low rent, man. We gotta pick a thing. I'm okay with if this is just gonna be a lower mid card thing with the Dark Order. I'm okay with that. And it appears that that's the route they're going. It does belie the thing of, well, how come when they beat up the Elite, the Elite never got them back? Like, again, it's just one of these. They need an adult in a room. They need somebody to like attach the continuity to all this stuff. They're taking on Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela, which is a team that's completely working for me. Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss look like fantastic, and then Sonny Kiss has that top rope split leg droppy thing. It's unbelievable. They're going to have a big match coming up on Dynamite, which I'm going to talk about immediately after I record this. Number 6 match, Kylan King against Mel. Mel, I didn't get any kind of vibe off of her except she was kind of a tough broad. Kylan King, I think a lot of. I've seen her and stuff here in Florida. I think she's really great. I think she's one of these people that is right at the level of the game that she should be, where she's showing up and doing AEW Dark stuff where she's losing. But I think the right person gets a hold of her. She gets to show her personality a little more. She could actually do a thing. Mel wins with this choke slam thing that kind of looked like a spine buster as well. That worked well enough, but Mel, no strong vibe off of her whatsoever. Hopefully she can develop a thing. It would be good. Number 7 match, Lee Johnson against Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky, every time I see him wrestle, he always does one or two things that I've never seen before that I always think is really great. And I think that not only other people should use, but that he should go to again and again. This one was, he got Lee Johnson to duck, but then turned that into kicking Lee Johnson once he ducked. And again, it's a small, tiny thing, but again, it just showed, it kind of gave more of a realism to the match and broke up the usual rhythm that wrestling matches tend to get into that kind of lull you to sleep. Really good. TKO for a finisher for Scorpio Sky completely does not work. It does not work. It does not work. In a league where people do cutters in the middle of their match and the beginning of their match is setup spots, and now QT has the cutter bestowed upon him from Diamond Dallas Page, to do a TKO, especially for Scorpio Sky's whole deal, just looks decidedly unimpressive. Lee Johnson, I thought, did a really good job in this. Speaking of good jobs, match number 8, Luther, Serpentico, and Max Caster. This hodgepodge of guys against the Jurassic Express. Marco Stunt, Jungle Boy, Jack, and of course Luchasaurus. I really like this match way more than I thought I would. Luther really got to put over his stuff. There's obviously a lot of respect that gets put Luther's way, even though he's losing all of these matches. They're obviously being deferent to him. He always gets spots. They always give him camera time. I love it. I'm a big fan of Serpentico. I'm a big fan of John Cruz. Everybody knows that. And Max Caster, I thought, did a really fair to great job at times in this match as well. And I like that they had a little story about Luther and Serpentico ditching Max Caster and leaving him to the wolves. And then Jurassic Express showed off, did their thing. That submission from Jungle Boy looks fantastic, and that's what they win with. And then finally, our de facto main event is the number 9 match. Peter Avalon with Leva Bates. Of course, we all know I'm a huge fan of Leva Bates. Huge fan. I love that they were discussing her and talking about her, like maybe, because Peter Avalon's color is purple, maybe Leva should dye her hair purple, which would also match her own thing and blah, blah, blah. She warranted that kind of discussion, and they took on Orange Cassidy. I thought this was a great thing. It sort of showed Orange Cassidy winning decisively, but having a decently competitive match with Peter Avalon, who looked really good here and still hasn't picked up a win. So sad. Orange Cassidy won. I thought he was going to do that pinning thing that he does from time to time, but apparently he saves that against guys of note as a surprise, which I like. Here he just won with his flat-out badass Superman punch, which is the best Superman punch going in wrestling right now. I hate to say it, but it's true. Then we get an intro of what we're going to see for AEW Dynamite. Jon Moxley's going to be in action. No, he's not. Oh, COVID rearing its ugly head. I love, though, that they build this as Jon Moxley in action with Taz on commentary to sort of set up that conflict. I like it. Brody Lee and Colt Cabana are going to take on Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss, which indeed did happen. And then the Lumberjack match against Wardlow, against Luchasaurus, something they had set up multiple times, and I was glad to see them paying it off. Anyway, this has been Stephen Platinum versus AEW Dark, and I'm Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling.